Imagine a world where transparency is no longer optional, but a basic consumer right. I'm Ala Koretsky, and I'm co-founder for Layer Technologies. Layer is a digital transparency badge for e-commerce brands to build transparency through brand loyalty and trust. A little bit of my backstory. My career started as a buyer for a luxury fashion house where everything was done behind closed doors. And we accepted this. Through the years, as my career transitioned into different industry sectors, sourcing products in health and wellness space, I really started paying attention to the disconnect between manufacturers and consumers. As a mom of 3 boys, I wanted to source products with ingredient lists I could pronounce, relate to the stories of the makers, and get a personal connection for the products I was putting on my own kids. Unfortunately, what I saw for the most part was a lot of secrecy and greenwashing. Currently, 94% of shoppers say there's a need for more honesty and transparency from the brands they buy. And 73% of them are willing to pay more. So how are brands and retailers adjusting to this new consumer demand? With millennial purchasing power dictating the market, growing challenges for brands and retailers is cutting through the noise to connect with consumers in a meaningful way. Brands that see value in transparency must spend huge amount of resources to integrate it into their current business model. Our widget acts as a marketing tool for brands who want to share their supply chain stories. By uploading information on our decentralized database, brands will have a place to upload verified information and share it directly on their website and through social networks. On the consumer side, we seek to visualize complex data and reporting. Our goal is to create a technology that centralizes real-time supply chain feeds so consumers can see their product life cycle from order to delivery. We have built an administrative dashboard on top of Blockstack. It's an open source framework that provides us with the ability to store and render data directly on the blockchain. From the data we upload on the blockchain, we can generate a digital profile for the brands and soon products. And this digital profile shows up in the form of a widget. The widget can be placed on the website's homepage with a simple copy and paste. Currently, the widget shows ingredient testing reports and certification reports, along with the ability to stream latest social media posts and direct messaging from the brand. Brands are also able to collect consumer emails to keep them updated on any changes. We believe that there is an extensive opportunity when it comes to generating revenue. We seek to begin with the low-hanging fruit. In the sense, our goal is to get traction, after which we can expand on product offering, which in turn will help generate additional revenue. Our initial target market will be direct-to-consumer brands, specifically in health and wellness space. D2C is actually one segment that dominated the market post-COVID with an increase of 76%. Now, educated, passionate millennial consumers are demanding more from the brands they buy, but the way they shop has not changed much. With Layer, brands and retailers are now able to share, attract, retain, analyze, and communicate with their consumers with authentic and new touch points that will convert browsers into passionate consumers. Great companies like Provenance and Everledger that just raised $30.4 million are using blockchain technology to store product information, but they're doing it for luxury goods. We are bringing this experience to the masses with everyday products that we bring into our homes. We've been bootstrapping Layer for the past year and have completed the blockchain-enabled widgets to be installed on brands' website. Right now, we are focused on onboarding first brands with our first version. For the next 18 months, we are concentrating on product market fit, early marketing efforts, and sales. Please meet the amazing team that's working so hard on this project. Marina Ramashka has over 20 years of experience in project management, leadership, and working with Fortune 500 companies. Gary Rieger is a creative visionary and entrepreneur. Gary is a self-taught software engineer whose team works with startups from idea to revenue generating businesses. And I'm Ala. I have over 15 years of experience in startups, direct to consumer businesses, product development, and sourcing. We also put an amazing team of board advisors that have been super instrumental with our growth. At Layer, we aim to deliver meaningful change to commerce through authentic and accessible information about product and makers. We believe one day everything you buy will come with a true story about the people, places, and materials that led to its creation. So we welcome you to join us on this e-commerce revolution to launch Layer, product transparency for the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you, Ella. Does anyone have any questions for Ella?
Could you talk about the blockchain you are using? It's like IBM Stack. What's the designer tools? Can you go a little bit deeper?
Sure. Actually, we have Gary Veiger. He's actually on this call. I think he's a CTO for the company. I think he can provide you a little bit more guidance in the technology aspect of it.
Yeah. Hi, how are you? Nice to hear your question. So essentially what we're using is an open source technology for reasons of just getting this thing out to market. We've done a lot over the past 12 months. Essentially what we have is we're using Gaia, which is the down technical stuff, and then Blockstack for authentication. So the way it works is every brand essentially gets a locker. It's almost like having their own private locker where they can store data. So it's also extremely effective for data management. And that's essentially sort of the layer that we're using. Blockstack also requires users to have a private key that they essentially have to keep somewhere. And then they also provide security questions based on that private key to get in. For example, they'll ask you what's the 2nd and 11th word in your key. That gives you access to your backend system. Over time, we want to rebuild everything proprietary, but that's what the money, that's what some of this money is for.
Thank you.
There's a question from Will Wong. What is the product roadmap and additional features for the next few years?
Thank you. Yeah. So we're planning to launch the widget. So right now we're starting with the widget, and we're planning to create a Google Chrome extension that just is a little bit more intuitive for the shoppers. So as you know, if anyone knows Honey is a great sort of widget, Chrome extension that was just bought out by PayPal. It enables you to see transparency on the pricing side. We are providing sort of this transparency, but on the product side. So you get a lot more information in terms of where the product is coming from. So that's one of the things. So we're starting with the widget, then we're going to go into the Google Chrome and Shopify. The next step is to build a back-end analytics and reporting for the brands. So, conversion is going to be a sort of our key point in how we can monetize on this. So once we can show to the brands that we're able to retain consumers, we're going to keep them on the sites longer, convert them. So the back-end dashboard needs to be built out. That's sort of our next step. Then we're concentrating on gamification and tokenization. So the ability to be sort of active with the consumer and sort of tracking them on their purchases and incentivizing them to make more sustainable choices in the products that they're going to be selecting. And then we want to get into augmented reality experiences where we actually see into more of the experience aspect of relating to the brands and seeing the back end story where your product is coming from. So really getting it more into the brand storytelling.
Now you brought up this augmented reality during your presentation as well. That was the last bullet point, but you quite didn't get there. Is it something dream vision, or is it something in execution phase, or?
So it's in a dream. It's definitely in our 3 to 5 year goal. Right now, we really want to figure out how to add the value to the consumer, to the brands themselves. So I think it's all about the analytics and reporting in the first 2 years, and augmented reality is sort of our big vision, and being able to really, relate to the brand on a completely different level that hasn't been done before. But that's a 5 year, I want to say 5 year roadmap.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
There's another question in the chat box. It is, what's the defensible moat you've built or plan on building?
I can answer that. First of all, it's our ability to build technology at a really fast speed. That's essentially, what my specialty is. I apologize for the background noise. And then aside from that, I think it's just our ability to execute really fast. I mean, we have a perfect team. The other co-founder on the team, she's project management. I'm more tech and visionary, and Ala is brand relations. So we're able to just move really fast. I think once we get to the point of adding in the right functionality, for example, faster checkout, tokenization, so getting people to potentially spend on the right types of products. All of those types of things, I think, will then just put us ahead of the competition. So we don't see any competitors doing anything remotely close to what we're doing. So I think we can get a nice head start.
Okay. There's another question here. Although this is not currently in your concept, I can see STEM application. And
packaging, yeah. So right now we're starting with, one of the easiest sort of entry points, because most CPG products will have some kind of ingredient testing and certification. That's the first step in transparency they're able to show to the front end consumer. That's not being done right now. An average consumer has to spend about 2 hours online, compiling information from all different websites to even get ingredient report testing. So we're bringing this experience like it's never been done before. But sort of the next experience is like, yeah, where is your packaging coming from? Where is, what values, is that products are animal tested? How are the employees being treated? So there's a lot of sort of steps in the whole sort of sustainability aspect that a lot of brands are concentrating on, but they don't have proper tools to actually incorporate it into their business model. And we're talking about smaller brands that know exactly where their honey's coming from, to bigger brands that have hundreds of different SKUs, and they have to sort of hire a team that will sort of show this to the front end. So we're really bringing this experience to the masses like it's never been done before. So yeah, we're starting with ingredients, but we're planning to really dig deep and really open the door like it's never been done before.
So we have a bunch more questions. We're just going to take one more here from Oscar. Do you have a token on Blockstack blockchain or planning to issue one? How much are you raising?
Yeah, so I think for the tokenization, I think Gary can answer that. We definitely are planning to, the idea is for every brand to create their own token. And if as a company, as a consumer, when you're shopping for it, you're able to sort of exchange the tokenization for the brands inside this widget. As far as, and we can talk about it, if anyone's interested in learning a little bit more, I will leave my email in the comments and we can chat more in detail. As far as what we're raising, we're looking at 1 million for 5 million pre-market with 1 million investment with 20% share of the company.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.